Rob, there seems to be more hurricanes. Am I right?
You are, and there's a reason behind that, Tom. The classification for the storms has kind of changed a bit over the last 30 years. The Hurricane Center has been naming some storms, like over the weekend they named Julie in the Central Atlantic that, say, back in the 80s or 90s wouldn't have been named as a storm, so that's one of the reasons we've seen the number of named storms come up during the season.
So, Rob, we've seen this storm actually hit as a Category 4, and this has been a question about testing the levees that were newly enforced after Katrina. What do we know in terms of how well they held up, how well the protections that were put into place actually succeeded in fortifying the city?
Well, Lisa, the testing is going to continue because the problem is not only the storm surge that accompanied Ida as she made her way inland, but the problem with Katrina back in 2005 in New Orleans was not the storm surge. It was the rainfall that occurred with Katrina going into Lake Pontchartrain coming up in height, and then that caused flooding into the city of New Orleans. That rain is continuing right now with Ida. Flash flood warnings are in effect for southeastern Louisiana, northeastern Louisiana, and much of Mississippi. So we're going to see that system tested not only today, but tomorrow and through the rest of the week. As that rainfall works its way into Lake Pontchartrain from the North Shore north of New Orleans, brings the lake levels up, then we're going to have to see how those levees handle that increased pressure from Lake Pontchartrain to the north.
And given the timeline that you just laid out, when do we start to get an assessment of the damage, the recovery that follows?
Well, in regards to the wind damage, that's probably going to take place later today and tomorrow. The winds with the system are down from 150 miles an hour yesterday afternoon. They're now 60 miles an hour. The storm's about 50 miles northeast of Baton Rouge. So as the winds diminish, the power line crews can get out there. They'll assess how long it's going to take to restore power. From what I can understand in some of the reports, there's been some transmission damage to the city of New Orleans, so that's going to take time to replace. But in regards to some of the other damage, in regards to water, runoff, flash flooding, that type of stuff, that's probably going to continue right on into Wednesday and Thursday.
Rob Carolan, Anthony emails in. Thanks for listening to us on Bloomberg Radio from Sparta, New Jersey, Anthony. And Rob Carolan, he says he's driving from Philadelphia to Nashville this weekend, which is like the heart of all the follow-on rain. Is the follow-on rain normal rain or not?
It's going to be excessive. The good news is it should be out of the continental United States by the weekend. This system later today will be a tropical depression moving to the west of Jackson, Mississippi. Probably by tomorrow afternoon, it's about 200 miles to the south of Nashville. By the time we get to Wednesday afternoon, it's in central West Virginia. And then by early Friday morning, it's south of New England. Along that path this week, though, we're expecting anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of rain into the Tennessee River Valley over the next 36 hours. And then it's 2 to 4 inches of rain from West Virginia to southern New England between Wednesday and Friday morning.